If I were building my own house in Texas today, there are several things I absolutely would not do because I've seen too many homeowners regret these decisions later. I'm Ryan Parker. I'm a Texas real estate broker with Collaborative Realty, and I also own Parker Design and Consulting, where we help people design and plan homes here in the Texas Hill Country. After years of walking homes, designing homes, watching builds, and helping buyers, there are some mistakes that keep showing up over and over again. Some of these mistakes cost people tens of thousands of dollars later, and some just make homes frustrating to actually live in. So in this video, I'm going to walk through the things I personally would never do if I was building my own home in Texas. I would never ignore lot drainage. The first thing I would never do is ignore drainage and water flow on a property. And honestly, this is one of the biggest mistakes I see people make. A lot of buyers fall in love with the view or the trees or the neighborhood, but they never really stop to think about what water is going to do on that lot during a heavy Texas storm. Water always wins. And if your lot isn't planned correctly, you can end up with erosion issues, standing water, flooding around the foundation, washed out driveways, retaining wall problems, all kinds of expensive headaches. Sometimes people spend hundreds of thousands building a beautiful house, and then first heavy rain exposes major issues. When I look at a lot, I'm constantly thinking about where water is going before I'm even thinking about the house itself. And honestly, good drainage planning usually isn't the exciting part of building a house, but it can absolutely save you from some really expensive problems later. The next thing I would never do is build a garage that's too small. This happens all the time in Texas. People underestimate how much space they actually need. Modern trucks are huge now. Most families have storage, golf carts, workout equipment, tools, freezers, kids stuff. And then 6 months after moving in, the garage is packed and nobody can park inside anymore. If I were building my own house, I would prioritize garage space way more than people probably expect. Because unlike a bedroom or living room, garages are really hard and expensive to fix later. And honestly, one extra bay or even a few extra feet of width can completely change how functional the home feels long term. This next one might surprise some people. I would never overcomplicate the roof line. And I know a lot of modern homes today try to create all these crazy angles and roof transitions. But usually, what that creates is more leak potential, more framing complexity, higher cost, harder maintenance, and often a house that ages worse over time. Some of the best looking homes are actually fairly simple structures. Clean roof lines, good proportions, balanced design, and especially in Texas, where we deal with heat, storms, hail, wind, and expansion, simpler can actually be smarter. I would never ignore sun orientation. This is one that almost nobody thinks about enough. I would never ignore how the sun hits the house, especially in Texas, because the wrong orientation can make outdoor living spaces miserable. You can build this beautiful back patio, outdoor kitchen, giant sliding doors, and then realize every summer afternoon feels like an oven. When I'm helping design homes, I think about morning sun, evening sun, shade, outdoor comfort, window heat, even where people are going to sit outside. Because a home shouldn't just photograph well, it should actually feel good to live in. I would never design only for open space. Another thing I would never do is focus only on making rooms feel huge. Bigger is not always better. And honestly, some oversized open floor plans actually feel awkward once people move furniture in. I think people sometimes design homes for photos instead of real life. But real life includes furniture, kids, traffic flow, TV placement, lighting, storage, everyday living. And some of the best homes I've walked through aren't necessarily the biggest, they just flow really well. I would never cheap out on windows and outdoor living. In Texas, outdoor living matters. And if I were building my own house, I would absolutely prioritize good windows, natural light, covered outdoor spaces, including fans, and indoor outdoor flow. Because people spend a lot of time at home here. And when a house has a great natural light and comfortable outdoor area, it changes how the whole house feels. In fact, let's not undersize our HVAC systems either. That doesn't mean everything has to be ultra expensive, but there are certain areas of a home that affect your everyday experience more than people realize. At the end of the day, most people focus almost entirely on how a home looks when they build, but very few people think about how that house is actually going to live 5, 10, or 15 years later. And honestly, that's where experience matters. If you're thinking about building, buying land, or designing a home anywhere in the Texas Hill Country, feel free to reach out. I'm Ryan Parker, broker with Collaborative Realty, and I also run Parker Design and Consulting, where we help people design smarter homes and navigate the construction process. My goal is simple: help people buy or build better homes, not just houses. If you're relocating to the area, I created a free Hill Country relocation guide you can download at hillcountry.collab-rt.com. And if you found this video helpful, make sure to like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.